just had our boy Quide Daniels on here, the producer to one of the movies that me and my co-host right here is gonna be in.
Oh, badass.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Where my cane at? Fuck, it's in the car.
yeah.
Is ready.
I
I
left my
love
cane in the
it.
car.
How
Listen,
you doing, everybody?
I just want to let you know that I appreciate you just taking the time out. And this is my brother right here, Jeff.
What,
He's
what's
an incredible actor.
Burrow and what's his name?
My name is Christian, but everybody calls me Jeff. That's my I'm a musician as well, so I go by Jefferson Parish. You know what I
Awesome.
mean?
I'm
Yeah.
Ari Demon, rhymes with demon. The first.
Yes, sir. I heard you are an amazing musician as well, man.
Thank you. That's so kind of you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I love playing my guitar. We just performed at the actual location where Friday the 13th was shot on July 18th. We were just there at the Blairstown Diner, gentlemen. How do you like that?
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing, brother. That's
Yeah, man.
amazing.
Yeah, how does it feel to be the first? Well, not the first Jason.
He's
You're the first
original.
Jason. He's the original Jason because
Yeah. I
mom
asked
is the
you
original
Jason
Jason.
stuff,
But
Barrow. If we're gonna start in, we're starting. Are we starting? So
mm,
yeah, it's me, Ari Lehman, rhymes with demon, the first Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. That's right. My shirt here says first Jason, and that's the name of my metal band. Because yes, indeed, in 1979, a journey began when director Sean Cunningham said action and Jason Voorhees was born. Yeah, before that moment, there was no other Jason Voorhees actor. Now, of course, I'm the boy in the lake,
Yes.
and the story is interesting because, as you know, the killer in the first movie is Mama. Okay,
Yeah.
and so when we shot the drowning sequence of little Jason, okay, where Mama is having the flashback, she's saying, "Today is his birthday. He was my only son. He wasn't a very good swimmer." And little Jason is drowning and he's saying, "Kill her, mommy. Don't let her get away." And so Jason is drowning, okay? So that was going to be the only sequence of Jason Voorhees in all of movie history. That was going to be it. It was just going to be a drowning child, okay? And we submitted it to Paramount Pictures without the famous ending sequence, where I jump out of the water and grab
Right.
Alice. And Paramount Pictures passed on Friday the 13th in 1979 in August. They said, "You got a mama with her head chopped off, the little boy drowns. You need to give us some kind of ending, okay? Give
Right.
us some closure." Okay? They would test the film out in the Midwest here. They would test it in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And when the people in Fort Wayne saw that, they thought it was just tragic. So they said they passed. And
Yeah.
2 months went by, and Tom Savini, the great special effects artist,
horror daddy.
okay, the great Tom Savini, we'll talk about him. What a fascinating individual. He said, "Okay, let's bring back Jason for a little bit of revenge here." Okay. Now, initially, Sean Cunningham didn't like the idea because he thought it was too paranormal, too supernatural, too difficult to explain. But then finally he went with it, and Savini did the makeup for the after Jason had been submerged for 11 years. Okay. And so when Paramount Pictures saw that, they bought Friday the 13th. They loved it. They they couldn't test it in Fort Wayne.
Right.
That had been done. So they tested it with their own secretaries and their families in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Sean Cunningham told me this story. And when I come out the water, everybody just starts screaming and crying, and they're So Paramount said, we've got a hit. And they distributed Friday the 13th in 800 theaters across the country on the same day. That had never been done before, gentlemen. So Sean Cunningham likes to say, great movie, but really great distribution.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
I literally,
That's why Jason is now, without that final sequence, of
yeah,
course, you wouldn't have Sackhead Jason, and of
right.
course, you wouldn't have, see right there, that's my tribute.
Wow.
That's a mashup, because that's also, if you could see, Candyman, because Tony Todd was my dear
Tony
friend.
Todd
I
is the
love Tony
man.
Todd.
Tony Todd is the man. R.I.P. Tony Todd.
Man.
Tony's always with us, man. He never went anywhere, I tell you. That's for sure.
Speaking of Tony Todd and Jason and horror and Tom Savini and everything, like I said in the beginning, we are inspired actors. We are just trying to get somewhere in life. You know what I mean? We're trying to be somewhere great like you.
Oh.
But one of my best friends right here, he got a cult classic coming up.
Oh, awesome.
Like this, it's I feel like it's gonna be one of those, franchise, like Jason and the Chainsaw Massacre and everything. And so like I just wanted to just have you guys talk and like just since you were the original and he's the first, this is the first time we ever do it kind of like this, I thought it would just be super dope.
Yeah, let's talk about indie horror right now. Well, you couldn't have picked a better time to jump in with indie horror. I mean, if you look at how successful recently people have been able to go from YouTube to feature film, I mean, it's quite amazing. I mean, in many ways, Friday the 13th was like that. It was like an independent movie that
Yeah. Initially,
because we made it for so cheap. But now you've got YouTube. So you look at Iron Lung, you look at Back Rooms, you look at Session. Those people all got their following on YouTube, and it's mind-boggling, especially when you look at Back Rooms, because what a just totally different idea, and the way they built it actually uses the internet community. I mean, that's just brilliant,
Absolutely, man. Thank you. Listen, I was going to ask you. Everyone says they want to create a cult classic. What do filmmakers misunderstand about how a cult classic actually is born, from what you learned?
Wow. Well, that's a heck of a question, because I think that when, like, they made Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for instance, okay?
Yes.
My favorite of all time.
That's the one that kicked off the whole
everything, all
that kind of slasher genre. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Right.
That was the first American, unhinged. Like, if you look at it, what is the problem there? You're at the end of a road with a bunch of redneck hillbillies who eat people. I mean, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the extreme, right? And then they kind of reel it back with Halloween, where it's like, okay, you're in the suburbs now. You're in the suburbs, and Laurie Strode, and everything's perfect. But all of a sudden things aren't so perfect. Okay. But Michael Myers has like a psychiatrist, Donald.
Yeah, right.
That's a different world. You know what I'm saying? But then when you come to Jason, in a way they kind of dialed it back again, if you will. Now follow me. Because maybe they were saying everybody wants to love the slasher, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard to love Leatherface, okay?
Yeah.
Because he's gonna eat you.
Right.
And then Michael's just weird. He kills.
He's just crazy.
But Jason, he's got mama. Like Michael has mama issues, but Jason,
Yeah.
So we kind of relate to Jason in a strange, abstract
Very
way. Of
true.
course, he's still a villain.
Oh, of course.
But when we can find, okay, Sid Haig said to me one time, the great Sid Haig, and this is wisdom. He dropped some wisdom on me because I said, I have to play this rape scene. And I'm not like that, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, I have an animal in me, of course, but I'm not. You know, I respect women, and I think,
Right.
you know, especially a real masculine person does always respects women. Okay, so where was I gonna, like? I was like, what? How do I? What should I? I said to him, should I look at other people in the world and try to think like that? And he said, no, 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 no. He said, within you and within that character, there's a place where they intersect. Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, it's two circles, and there's this place where they intersect where it is where you could really relate to being that character. Okay. So where did I find that to be little Jason, for instance? You know, long, long before I met Sid Haig, I found the motivation, right? Because it was easy, right? Okay. I was under the water. Like Sean Cunningham wanted to trick Adrienne King. The first take, he wanted to scare the fuck out of her. So
Right.
he says to me, Ari, the camera is rolling.
Don't tell her.
Well, no, he didn't tell her. No, she's waiting for him to say
Right.
action. He said, you're not going to be able to hear me say action because you're underwater. So he says, Ari, look up at the bubbles. When the bubbles clear, that's action. And then he says something I'll never forget. He said, you're the director on this scene, Ari. Like, what a perfect thing to say to a little
Yeah, right.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Too much power.
That's awesome.
I don't let her see it. And I'm thinking, I'm the director. I'm the director. So I go underwater and I have all of 30 seconds to make up my mind, you know. The bubble's clear, and here's my motivation. Bitch killed my mother.
Facts. That's all you needed.
So I put my arm on the famous, like, come out the side like this, right? And I look down and I realize this nice lady has no idea what's going on. She looks back at me, her face changes into that fear that you see in the movie, right?
Yeah.
But that's where they cut it, because she goes, oh shit, and she fell out the front of the boat on the first take. Falls out the front of the boat. So they did a second take. So when you go back to watch it, you'll see at first it's a medium take. It's like you see us, okay, and then it's the close-up. The close-up is the first take sandwiched between the second and the, you know. So how do you get, so that's how he got the fear factor. But again, it's a motivation that comes from love, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
And somehow those classic films, they have that element in them where people just can relate to that character somehow. Even though, like, look, I even thought to myself, I don't want people to think badly of children with disabilities, right? You know, I was a serious little motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
I would like look into the water of the lake, and I try to get into character. And even one time, Kevin Bacon comes by. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm getting into character, man." You know, and Kevin Bacon laughs so hard, but yeah. So in the development of a character and saying, okay, right, I didn't want people to think badly about those kids, right? But then I thought to myself, hang on, those kids need a voice,
a faith. Yeah.
a way to say, you know what? If somebody killed my mom, I would, you know, I would at least dunk them in the lake, because she wakes up in the hospital.
Yeah.
So, but the point being, it's just a movie. So so I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna stand up for my buddy in the back of the class that nobody talks to, and give him a he can have his own. And to this day, those kids on the spectrum, they come to my table with their parents and their parents, and I found them to be some of the most emotionally present people in the world. But so
Right.
it's that love factor. You find where you love. Like, for instance, do you know Frankenstein's monster was not a hit initially?
Really?
It was hard for people to find the love. It was only after the Bride of Frankenstein, right?
Oh, okay.
After Bride, because then they went back and saw they would do a double feature after that, right?
Got you.
But chicks did not, the ladies did not dig the original just Frankenstein because it's just this doctor, it's alive,
Yeah. It's like Shrek. It's like Shrek almost.
So Ari, so we're trying to develop our characters, and we're trying to get other characters and stuff like that. And I think you gotta pay homage. So what it would be like? How would I be able to like book up?
I can give you a little advice from a book by Uta Hagen. You should check out this book by Uta Hagen. So one of the chapters, she says, it's just called Search for the Love. It's the name of the chapter. And in other words, I believe in my heart that every great character is searching for love in some way. And if you find how that character is searching for love, then you're going to find the best way to say those lines. You're going to find the best way to approach that character. They could be searching for love in a million ways.
Yeah.
There's so many ways. And
how can we book you so that way we could either
Acting coach.
create like a crazy.
No, fuck that. I want listen. So my next we're in develop of another horror movie after this one, and it's supposed to be inspired of a Jason. You know what I mean, of a Jason character. So of course we would love for you being the first Jason ever.
Hell yeah.
Some part of that movie.
Well, then you have to do a scene where I'm like in a boat, like I'm official.
Yeah.
Or you doing your rock band, smoking weed, and
let's tell them the whole thing.
And you got the blood, and just because I let you live.
Have you seen The Barn? There's a great series called The Barn 1, 2, and 3. Now they're releasing The Barn 3. It's a lot of fun. These guys put this out by Wheeling, West Virginia. They're amazing. And, so they got it on Screambox, guys. Screambox. The Barn 2 was right behind Terrifier 2 for months and months.
Wow.
And it got more playthroughs because not everybody can handle Terrifier 2, but the Barn 2,
1, 2, 5.
Barn 2 is a lot of fun. It's not like Terrifier. It's more of a it's a Halloween story,
okay.
And it's a kind of horror movie that has plenty of sex and violence, but you could bring just about anybody to it. It's amazing. It's really well done, and it's about this barn that has a curse on it. So every Halloween they knock on the door, and these three, like the candy corn monster, and but the special effects are dope. And my character, for instance, to give you a perspective on the horror comedy, right?
Yeah.
So my character is Dr. Rock, which is and he's a 90s video DJ. But so through the years, and so in Barn 2, I kill zombies with my keytar. I stick the keytar down the zombies, and then I'm also killing them with a nail gun. It's a lot of fun.
Ironically, the movie he's talking about, hold on, bro, is actually based off like a Woodstock festival. So there's gonna be a slasher in these woods during a rock festival. So you would be perfect for that movie in the first place. You know
I
what I
would
mean?
love if we could
Oh
book
yeah.
our
Well,
listen.
I look like I just jumped out of Woodstock right now.
Yeah,
Ari,
exactly.
Ari, I would love if you could be in my movie. I will personally make sure you have security, compensation,
Okay.
all the weed you need, brother. Everything that you need.
Yeah, well, I'll say yes. Just send me a script. Where are you guys out of, or if you want to mention that?
All right. Ironically, you filmed Camp Crystal Lake in Ohio. We are located in Ohio as well.
Oh,
You
see, I
know?
do a lot of shows in Ohio. We have a big we have our we've got 2 shows coming up in Ohio, guys.
Yeah.
Where we could meet.
I would love to.
It's on September 5th. We're playing at the Abyss. The Abyss in Toledo.
That's
It's
my
a
birthday.
horror themed bar, okay? The Abyss. First Jason is there. They put 6 bands on it. There's 6 bands. They're all like, we want to play with Ari. God bless them. Well, all,
God bless him.
yes. Or Mama bless them, I tell you. But um and then we have our Halloween show on October 31st is in Akron at the Buzzbin.
Oh,
Oh
look, we're
yeah.
in Young
Oh
Chair.
yeah. Oh yeah. We're there for that one. Listen, September 5th is my birthday. Well, September 4th is my birthday. So that's the day after my birthday. So I might make that one too. I don't know. We'll see.
And I also seen the horror con that's happening in Detroit. So listen, I'm everywhere. I go to the horror cons, the horror realm.
The one I love that's up there. Well, first of all, you've got Tommy who runs she runs Motor City Nightmares, which is a great show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do a big camp out. Oddly, that was supposed to be that weekend of September 5th and 4th.
I've met you at the
Oh.
big event.
It got postponed. I don't know. There was an issue with the camp. I don't know. But then you've also got Astronomicon, run by Twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
The
I've met you at
juggalos.
the big event. I've met you at a couple New York trips. I met you on a couple Detroit trips. I've met you. Yeah, I've met you a couple times, man. Like I said, you've always been the sweetest person to me, man. I really wish we could just. I can't wait where we could just smoke and actually politic. And
We gotta
talk.
go to this show. What are you talking about?
Man, I listen. Now since we're a little familiar.
ask me some more questions now that you feel the listeners, the viewers might. I don't know.
I got you, brother. Listen, Ari, I got one simple question.
Yes.
Can you swim? It changed your entire life. That question. Do you ever think about how different your life would be if that phone call never came? Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. No. That's a good point because I've often thought. So the way that phone call came was because I grew up in Westport, Connecticut.
Okay.
And I auditioned for the movie that Sean Cunningham did prior to Friday the 13th. I just walked right into the YMCA in Westport, Connecticut. And he was doing a movie called Manny's Orphans, which is about a ragtag bunch of orphans who win their orphanage back from the mafia in a soccer tournament.
What?
Right. So I was like the little, I got the 80-line role of Roger, the girl-obsessed little boy who was like the wingman of the lead guy. I was like reading a Playboy magazine. It was like a Porky's kind of character, you know?
Yeah, I got you.
And or kind of like a Danny Partridge almost character, but the lead guy was trying to sneak his sister in the boys' orphanage, you know, but Roger, who looked at girls all the time, was starting to catch on. Anyway, that movie had soccer stars in it. Werner Roth, Pele. Part of it was filmed at Cosmos Stadium.
Wow.
But soccer was just not a thing.
Yeah, I know.
78. You know,
My dad played soccer against Pele. He played for Nigeria in 78. So that's ironically you said it. Yeah, he played against Pele 3 times. He played
wow.
against Brazil, 3 times back in the 70s. It wasn't profitable. It wasn't big. Like now, it's you're making $300 to play soccer. Back in the 70s, you were getting peanuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it wasn't very popular in America, Paramount, but they still had a contract with Sean. So as sometimes happens in the business, they said, okay, um, give us something else. They said to him, remember you did that thing with Wes Craven, Last House on the Left. So Sean really didn't. He wanted to start making, happy romantic comedies about kids, but he said, okay. And he saw the success of Halloween, and he just thought of this name, Friday the 13th. And I don't know if you guys know this, but he thought Friday the 13th, he thought summer camp. So he took a piece of driftwood, and this is so crazy. They used to burn the driftwood in the summer camp. It was like a arts and
Yeah.
crafts.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
So he put that, he just wrote Friday the 13th. And they put that's all in Backstage magazine. And somehow that got the funding for Friday the 13th. And the next thing you know, Victor Miller and them have this story about the camp, and they needed a little boy. So they needed a little boy, and they were going to pick Noel Cunningham's, Sean's son.
Wow.
But his wife said, I don't want to see my little boy drowning, on screen. She didn't want to see that. So it was I'm sorry, Steve Miner, who's the producer. He produced Friday the 13th. He directed part 2. He also produced the movie House. But it was Steve Miner who said, let's get Ari. Ari will do it. Ari will do anything, like that kind of thing. But now here I am, just sitting at home, and I just happened to be by the phone. It was, remember back then we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember the call. I just happened to be in the kitchen. It was like summertime, and I'm like Scooby-Doo, and then all of a sudden the phone rings, and they're like, it's him, and he's on the phone. He says, Ari, we're doing another movie. We need you to get down here right away. And I'm like, well, sure, Sean. I'm like, oh, another summer job. This is great. And that's when he said, can you swim?
Can you swim?
And the crazy thing is that when we did a lot of swimming on Manny's Orphans. They would wrap the set, and Sean had a swimming pool at his house. So sometimes we would go swimming at his house. So he actually knew that I could swim. But I guess he needed to hear, yes, I can swim. And then he goes, I was his dry sense of humor. He goes, can you swim? And I said, yes. He goes, great. You've got the part.
That's all you needed, huh?
That's all you need. Ari, can you smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
You got the part.
You got the part. Yeah.
Well, no, I'll tell you about weed on the set of Friday the 13th because I brought weed and hash.
Oh, there's no more hash, man. There's like no more
Don't tell an old man. Don't tell an old man about hash. We used to have the best.
You around, you get some good shit. I'm sure you get some good shit. How's the weed secret today? Is the weed too?
Weed is amazing, but weed is amazing today. But I've only seen one case where at a dispensary here in Chicago, it must have been an old man like me. He literally recreated yellow and black hash, but you can still get it in Amsterdam, guys. So, but let me tell you this story. So back then, oh my God, weed was hard to get in 1979, right, guys? Okay.
Yeah.
So Tom Savini and his assistant Tasso Stavrakis, they show up at my house and they're picking me up to they have to do the makeup. It took months for them. They had to cast my head, they had to cast my teeth, the eye, all this stuff. It's a lengthy process. So, you know, I get in the car and you could tell it's like these two guys, they both have these like amazing mustaches. It's 1979. Okay. It's the summer. And you could tell both of them were like, oh, we got to babysit this kid now. And, but I was prepared. So I had this little tin, and I had filled it with the finest sensimilla and hashish right on the top.
Hashish.
So I said, do you guys party? And they said, what? And I just go like this, doink, and I open the top of the thing, and the hash and the weed are sitting there. And it was like Bill and Ted's Great Adventure. They both looked at each other and they went, whoa, this is going to be fun. And that was the adventure. That's how the adventure began. I smoked them out and we worked on that stuff. And like the first version of when they cast my head, there was so much fun going on that I must have laughed at some point, and we took it off and it had a little laugh line. So Tom Savini said, okay, you've got to sit absolutely still this time, because they put the alginate over your head and you're breathing through straws. So he said,
Wow.
he says, have you heard Jim Morrison and the Doors? And I was like, yeah. And so he put on the album, People Are Strange.
When you're a stranger.
Yeah. And I was like transfixed, and I listened to that whole album and that, so it, so it came out. So anyway, I have this funny theory about weed and Jason, because, okay, so Tom and Tasso like to smoke weed, and it made it kind of fun to work
That's
on.
crazy.
That would be boring to work on otherwise. So
Facts.
and not to mention there was so much cocaine on that set, they needed some weed to get.
Calm him down.
So here's Ari, and so I was very popular because it's 1979. We weren't in the city; we were in the middle of the freaking woods. I was probably the only person with weed.
Right.
So now, the first way we filmed Friday the 13th, it only had that sequence where little Jason is drowning. Like I said, that was going to be the only thing, right? It was later that we added the jump scare, okay?
Yeah.
So here's my theory. My theory is, see, initially it was Tom Savini who came up with the idea Jason's going to come back. And Sean Cunningham was like, no, that makes no sense whatsoever. How could Jason come back?
I love Savini.
My theory is he was like, listen, if you're going to get me back out to those woods in the middle of New Jersey in 1979, well, Ari better be there with his weed or we're not going to get so we better write a scene where little Jason can come back. And
Listen,
that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Hold on.
Savini.
I love Jason.
Hold on, Tom Savini. Hold on, I gotta talk about it when we get sidetracked, because working with Tom Savini has to be amazing, bro.
Yeah.
And the fact that he smokes weed. All right, I got a question about Tom Savini.
As a little boy, to meet Tom Savini and his assistant Tasso Stavrakis, the two of them together, it was like they were so funny. I say they're like the Cheech and Chong of horror, but it was more like the Three Musketeers, man. Watching them, they were very funny, man, and they, all the gals were in love with them, and they worked very hard on coming up with new ideas. And and it was infectious. I mean, to be there. Okay, so Sean set up a studio for Tom in Weston, Connecticut, in the woods near his home. So not in L.A., not in New York, in Connecticut. So we were working on the movie. We were working on everything, and these guys, like, he would have a bust of Bela Lugosi and Vincent Price and everybody there, and he had a pet chinchilla, and he had like decapitated heads and weapons and everything. He brought all of it to that little studio, so it was like being in the old curiosity shop of horror, and to be 14 and see all that, it was transforming. I think seeing how resourceful they were and seeing the camaraderie and mind you, this was an independent film. They didn't have money. They didn't have shit.
Yeah.
So it's all in the imagination.
That's all I'm about to ask you. Yep.
With that imagination. In fact, when we make a movie, it's hundreds of people that come together, and the writer imagines something, and the actors imagine, the directors imagine, but without the imagination of the audience, then that's what brings it back together in time. Because when they say it's a wrap, right, then we're like dust in the wind. We never see each other again. But it's the viewer that brings all those people back together, and that imagination, and takes it to the next level. In fact, Friday the 13th is very fortunate because people love it so much. There's so many versions of it that will exist into the future. Thank God. Okay, now think of all the films that are deteriorating because they're made of celluloid that people don't know about, but they would love as much as Friday the 13th. And when you watch those old movies, you talk about conjuring ghosts. You're conjuring the ghosts of all those people that made that movie, especially when you join them in their collective imagination. And that's the magic of movies, my friends. It's like,
that's amazing. Yeah, I love it, brother. That's amazing. Because I've seen you talk about Savini's creativity, intensity, and like how it's inspiring and contagious. Like, what did you learn from watching him work? Like, not only from the special effects, but like also the creative obsession and believing in an idea before the rest of the world actually even understood it.
Well, he said to me that the challenge of that job is to constantly being imaginative and coming up with new ideas and thinking of a different way of doing it, and thinking of, in the case of Friday the 13th, thinking of a cheaper way of doing it.
Yeah.
Thinking of a way that it didn't matter how much it cost. Like, it wasn't about the cost, because like there was, we can do so many things. And watching Tom, I saw him come up with so many ideas, and he was so spontaneous and just in the present. He was always present and always imaginative and thinking of different angles, because I think they realized they were kind of in a new place. They weren't in Hollywood. They couldn't draw upon, the massive, special effects department, nor and it was before CGI. So nobody was even going to think, well, we can fill this in with CGI. Like, those things become, in a way, a crutch. I don't know. But all I can say is I watched them. Like, for instance, the famous scene where Kevin Bacon is in the bed, after he has, to point out, he has a scene where he makes love to his girlfriend, and it's one of the only horror movies where the girl has a lovely time. She has a great
time. Yeah, Jason's such a cog blocker.
Nothing happens. She's not killed at that point. Later, but not, So that's a point, because women are very important to the first Friday the 13th.
Because you know why? Moms was a freak.
Yeah,
Moms was a freak.
No, hold that thought.
Hold that like the campers.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
He said, "Hold that thought."
Freaky, bro. Because why? Okay, the two of them are doing it in the back, right? And she's very happy. But then it becomes apparent as soon as she goes away, Ned is in the top bunk the whole time, dying. His ass is up in the top bunk, dying because remember the drip of blood that falls down on Kevin, right? Okay, right. So that's a weird threesome. It's like there's a two, but then hold on a second because you think that's it. No, the next thing you know, that arm comes around and just stabs him through the freaking back of the head.
Yeah.
Mama's been there the whole time, watching the whole time.
Yep.
The whole time she's watching. From
She's a voyeur.
Okay, so that's very Sean Cunningham to say Mama was watching the whole time. Well, who else was watching? You were watching.
Listen, so
but let me finish because that scene, Tom. So Kevin. Okay, so they shot the scene in the bottom bunk, but then for the kill, they shot him in the top bunk, right? So they cut a hole, so he's standing up. So it's just his head, guys, right? And then the rest is a mannequin, okay? So he's standing up like that, and so they didn't have any expensive pumps or anything. So Tom took a plastic tube, right? And the tube has the corn syrup blood in it, okay?
Yeah.
And so Tom, famously, they do the sequence. Now, when you do blood, you really can't, it's like you got really
one take.
You gotta do it once, man. So we're all watching, and they let me watch this part, not the other part though, not when the girl was in there. After there was like a mile, you couldn't go near the part. But after that, I was allowed to watch this little part. So Tom is under the thing. They had it under Kevin, right? And he's using his air, his breathing. That's all he was using was his own breath to blow the blood through the tube, right?
Wow.
So if you remember the scene, Kevin he's like choking, and you see the blood come out, and then it kind of stops, and then it comes out in a really big burst, right?
Yeah.
That's because Tom accidentally swallowed a bunch of the blood. It went down the poor guy, and he just backed out. Yes, and he blew it out. So Kevin's like struggling in the and so they go cut. And I remember Tom Savini comes out and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to do it again. I blew it." And we're like, "What?" Like it looked really good. So I'm working with Tom, so I was like, "Well, you must be right." I didn't know, but so they had to watch. They had just like a little video cam where they had to watch it in the back. They all huddled around to just watch it in the little monitor, right? And I remember they all huddled around and they said, and there was they all went, "Yeah, it's a wrap," because it looked great, So here you had what could have been a disaster.
It happened. It worked out.
Resourcefulness of just blowing it through the
like listen, man. So we are all indie, like Choir Dave, like he does everything, all the makeup, shots by himself. Like this is the team. You know what I mean?
Well, find people who are good at practical makeup, practical effects, and I recommend going to your haunted location. Haunted attractions, like when
if you look right. If you look right next to you, like that is the character that my brother plays.
Yeah, the guy in the corner, in the right corner.
The guy in the corner right there. And listen, you should know, like with the small budget you guys had back in the day, it went a long way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's because the fans, man, I think two things. You got Mama Voorhees, the character. Okay, Mama Voorhees, played by Betsy Palmer. Okay,
Hey,
Betsy Palmer. You know, Betsy
R.I.P.
Palmer
baby.
was just one of the most amazing people in my life. Betsy Palmer had the same birth date as my real mom, so she was like my movie mom, and she
Oh wow.
was born on
that's
November
crazy.
1st.
That's wild.
And Betsy really took me under her wing, and her whole way of looking at the character, you know, she knew it was just a B movie, but she was bringing
Yeah.
a game. You know, she brought the A
Amen.
to the B movie. You know,
Yes,
and
sir.
and you know, sometimes there has to be that one character. I think everybody who loves Friday the 13th, you got to look at this other movie, which is called Dementia 13. Dementia 13 was Francis Ford Coppola's first thing that anyone ever noticed about him. It's a black and white movie from the 50s. And
Okay.
it's the same story. It's about a woman who commemorates the same day every year. That is when her daughter had an untimely death by drowning in the pond, except it's not at a summer camp, it's at this rich woman's estate.
Oh.
It's really kind of a cool movie, and it opens with this wonderful scene it's black and white, and these two people are in this little white boat going out into the water, and it's just absolutely brilliant opening scene. And there's another scene, there's a kill scene underwater that is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And so there's no doubt in my mind that that's one movie that affected Friday the 13th. Another one is there's a movie called Magic, starring Anthony Hopkins, where he has a puppet. He's a puppeteer. Okay,
Yeah.
and
Ventriloquist.
in fact, I think Sam Raimi is remaking this recently now. But anyway, again, there's a famous scene in that movie where so the ventriloquist is over at his friend's house, and their friend, they live in this beautiful house right by a lake, and they have a boat there. They live in this beautiful place, and yes, so well, I don't want to ruin it, but so the ventriloquist has banged the guy's wife. and, this is the greatest scene where the little puppet gets all jealous about this. Oh my God. And so, but so then they're in this boat together, and you think, oh my God, you know, and I think he just asked him straight up, like the two of them are in this boat, and the other guy's much bigger than him, you know, and so he says something like, did you bang my wife? You know what I'm saying? And Hopkins looks like he's about to kill the guy, and anyway, it's a freaking great, but it looks like the lake scenes from Friday the 13th visually. So I'd be surprised if they hadn't referenced that. And that's from 1978, right before we made it. So
That's amazing, man. I was on, say, back in the 70s too, like around that time. You were studying jazz when you were playing Jason, right?
well, yeah. And did you mention that your family is from Nigeria?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because
Afrobeat.
my jazz career, which I studied at New York University, I got a scholarship to Berkeley, and then I really just embraced, you know, being in New York City. But so I ended up working for one of the most famous artists from Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, his name is Majek Fashek, and he had a song called "Send Down the Rain."
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I worked with Majek Fashek, and I spent 10 years as the keyboardist in a band from Nigeria. Okay.
Wow.
Yes.
Look at that.
And
that's amazing.
I got a standing ovation at the Apollo Theater as the only American guy in an all Nigerian.
My brother. Yeah, how you?
No, listen. Majek says, because he had a song called Mother.
Yes. Mother.
So he they would always, and it was in C minor, so I could like tear this shit up on synthesizer, right?
Yeah.
And the Apollo Theater has this crazy like weird reverb, you know. But
Yeah.
I figured it out, the timing of this, so I was like playing with it during the solo, you know, and Majek goes from Brooklyn, my, my Jewish brother.
My good
My
brother.
Jewish brother.
Called me Irie Ites. He said,
Hey,
it up. And man, you know, the Apollo,
let's go.
that balcony, it's like that. And the Nigerian community is very tall. And
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God. I
You
Yeah.
thought,
felt that shit.
oh
You
my
felt that
God,
shit, Ari.
man.
That's all. Hey, my brother, well, how about you have you?
Wow.
Well, how about you? We'll give you some poo poo next time. Nah, that's awesome, man.
Abadi, Bawoni,
Hey, I'm Igbo. I'm Igbo. That's my tribe.
Wait a second. Kedu.
Kedu, Adema, how are you? My
Igbo.
brother.
Igbo.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, brother. Igbo.
Yeah. That's awesome.
My
That's amazing.
culture, man. Igbo. Very, very, very intelligent culture. Amazing. Yeah.
Tell everybody I got a 135 IQ. I'm like, we're smart as fuck, bro. I swear to God. I swear. But no, that's awesome. I realize you studied that, and like you also do like Afrobeat, jazz, rock.
Yeah.
You're like an overall artist. Did that actually help you with like your musical instincts that influence your timing as Jason? Because like you got to be like, really, it's all about rhythm. You know what I mean? That's what helped me out at least. When it comes to reading scripts, me having the knowledge to write songs, I can now remember words really fast and easy. So that helped me with acting. You
Okay.
know?
Well, I would like to think that, yeah, in some ways, because just the way you move.
Yeah.
Okay, like you said, I would hope that music is certainly influencing all of that. But honestly, when I did the first scene where little Jason drowns, okay,
Mhm.
so when I was a little boy, the movie Jaws
Yeah.
was big. You know, what was that, 76 or something?
Mhm.
And,
Yep.
and and I lived by the beach, and so I would go swimming, and my parents would sit there, you know, when they were eating their little picnic lunch, and I would pretend that sharks were eating me,
Yeah.
and I would start screaming, you know, like ah, you know. So I scared my dad uh, one time, and of course after that they they knew I was faking it. But when I got to the set of Friday the 13th and they said, okay, drown, and I just pretended sharks were eating me. So
Yeah.
I, I, I would like to say that I used some of my musical skills for that. I was very lucky because I met a great piano teacher in Westport, and she gave me a whole new way of looking at life, because I mean, quite frankly, being an actor in the 80s, a young actor, there was a lot of challenges there, you know, that I realized it wasn't just a meritocracy, as it were,
At all.
you know. So I found that being a musician, well, there's nothing more exciting than being in between a kick-ass band and a roaring crowd. I mean, you know. And then the thing about being in a movie set, it's not for everybody. Okay,
At
you say
all.
your line, and then you go to your trailer, and then you say the same line, and you go to the trailer, and that's the first day. You know, and uh, it goes on like that. And but if you have those kind of social skills and patience, and I admire the people. For instance, I was in a movie called Rock Paper Dead, also known as Rock Paper Scissors. So Victor Miller,
Yeah.
it has Tatum O'Neal, and the great Michael Madsen was in it, who I want to talk about. Michael
Wow.
Madsen, he was
Wow.
in Reservoir Dogs and all that.
Yeah, Kill Bill.
Yeah, the great, yes. So Michael Madsen, and he was so cool to me too, man. I was just sitting there, and he comes up to me, and he's like, You're the first Jason. And I go, he hands me a phone and he says, it's my kid. He's a big fan of yours. And I'm like, oh. And the kid knew my band and everything. So he was just so nice because, you know, in LA,
Yeah, that's awesome.
it's it's a rare thing that people are
Right.
Los Angeles. But about him. So he was just schmoozing the whole time and very, you know, he was just talking to everybody and having, but the second that they said action, boom, it's like instantly.
Bro, that's me.
Like right into the other character. It went from just,
Yep.
yeah. And so he didn't have to isolate himself or get into character. You know, it was not like that. And he was fully and then they go cut and he's back to like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, exactly, man. I have that same gift. Like my bro, he always tells me the same thing. He's like, "How do you do it?" I'm like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I could be exhausted. I could be frustrated, whatever it is." And when the camera comes on, even right now, I'm like, "Hey, everybody, welcome to Not for the Week podcast." So that's awesome, man.
I get that part. The hard part for me is the in between.
Yeah, the people. Yeah.
Talking to you and then you know this.
I'm good at that too. Though. I'm good at that. Yeah, I'll waste time.
They're like, "Oh, did you try the lovely sandwiches today?" I'm like, I'm supposed to be playing like this deranged asylum
killer.
Like, no, I was one of the orderlies in the asylum.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know, so crazy. They dropped me off for some reason on the wrong side of it was an actual asylum. So I get out of the taxi, right, and I'm looking around, and there's a nurse and a doctor and a patient. So I thought they were actors, right? So I said, "Oh, is this where they're filming the movie?" And the patient looks up at me, and the doctor looks at me, and goes shh, like that, and I go, "What?" So I realized I was in the actual asylum, and I thought, I'm not going to walk around and go over there. I'm going to movie asylum. Get into there. So I'm like, walking through this asylum, okay? And it's like, it's those hallways.
Yeah.
Movie, it's like this dim hallway, and you're like, oh my God, this is great. This is perfect. And then I open the door and there's catering.
That's be the worst. You're like, oh no.
Like salad, yes.
Yeah, like
I was ruined.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, flowers.
They got chai tea. No, I know what you mean, man. Listen, with the music aspect of it, for you to create First Jason, how did you do that? As far as, because you mix like jazz, metal, punk, reggae, Afrobeat, of course, Lagos, and classical together to make First Jason as a band.
Yeah, I think every musician brings, all their ingredients, to the table.
Yes, sir.
In your kitchen. And I just, because you've got to draw on everything to get a good album.
Right.
So what happened was this. I was at my first ever convention at the Meadowlands. It was hang on. It was Chiller Theater, and the guy who run that just passed away, Kevin Clement. Chiller Theater, and it was a Chiller Fangoria show. Tony Timpone from Fangoria invited me to that, so I was there. And at that point, I just had I had done that African reggae music, so I kind of had my own reggae music,
Yeah.
And that was there, and people were buying my reggae. I think was it cassette or CD? I can't remember, but But then I looked around and I realized, every punk and every metalhead is a horror fan,
Yeah.
and it really goes together. So
It
I
really
thought
does.
to myself, you know, I got to hit them where they live. You know, I need to come up with something. And it took me some time. So I had at NYU, I had made friends with some really great punk musicians. There was a band called Reagan Youth, which were these wild anarchists who lived in Tompkins Square, and had dreadlocks and they were crazy. So the singer from Reagan Youth used to bring me over to CBGB's where I saw, you know, Bad Brains and Dead Kennedys and White Zombie and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but you know, I was, you know, at that time I was a little jazz head, but I saw it, you know.
Right.
And then when I got to Chicago, I met a musician from a band called Macabre, and Macabre is one of the first murder metal bands that out of Chicago. So just absolutely fantastic musicians, very thrash oriented.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that helped me a lot, and they were on my first. Also, a drummer from a band called Cro-Mags. So the Cro-Mags, sometimes the drummer and singer didn't get along. So a friend of mine called Meat Cleaver, is a drummer. He was the original drummer for First Jason. So we did 2 albums like that. Jason is Watching is the first album, and it has songs like, you know, Machete is My Friend, Jason is Watching, Jason Never Dies, Sink or Swim. You know, I
It's
just
smart.
to try to come up with ideas. You know, in a way, what I said was, when you just write a general album about anything, I mean, I guess at that time I was writing kind of reggae world music about, you know, hey, let's all find a way to live together, and you know, like that kind of, which is kind of like obvious. You know, here's this guy
Right.
with long hair singing about world peace. Okay,
Right.
you know, but when you so then I said, wow, look at Friday the 13th. It has these topics of life and death and good and evil and the mom and the son and all these ideas. So, you know, I just started realizing that when you have a focus like that, a lens, then you can take all those ideas and you could kind of find a palette, okay?
Yeah.
And I've always loved dark material. I've always loved, you know, Edgar Allan Poe and Nietzsche and
Okay,
Goethe.
Raven.
Drawn to that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and just horror movies in general. So we developed that whole idea. I was very fortunate that the metal and punk community were so open-hearted and open-eared. They gave me a chance to get it together. And well, one of the first bands that gave us a step up was Incantation. John McKenty, he invited us to an event called Carolina Chainsaw Massacre. And we did that, and we saw those thrash metal bands, and they blew our minds. Then we came out with some more music and did some more videos. Lord of the Lake, we did Voorhees is the Name and Kill for Mother. And those videos got out there. Then we met, also Twisted. They had us at Astronomicon, so we opened for Twisted. Then, if you know Ice Nine Kills, Ice Nine Kills is a metal band that they use different franchises. Each song on their album is about a different horror franchise. So they have a song about Jason, a song about Freddy, a song about Jaws, a song about Psycho, everything.
Yeah.
So they had me sing on one of their songs, the song about Friday
Jason.
the 13th, called Thank God It's Friday. And
Hey.
Fire.
That's hard.
huge following, millions and millions. So we opened for them 3 times. That helped us a lot. The third time when we opened for them, it was us, First Jason, TX2, Avatar, In This Moment, and Ice Nine Kills. So there was like 10,000 people there.
Damn.
But honestly, the thing that we usually do is like what we just did our past 2 shows. We were out in Oklahoma City where they had us at a camp out. They had a bunch of people camp out at night, all night, and they had us play right by a lake they had a stage put up by a lake, and they're like water skiing and all this stuff. So, oh, and they had me in the lake, like
That's
yeah,
dope.
Oh
That's
shit!
dope.
get in the
That's
boat,
dope.
and we do a photo op in the canoe, you know.
Oh, nice,
And
nice.
2 weekends ago, we were at the Blairstown Diner where they shot Friday the 13th, and you know, that's the usual kind of show we do, some kind of events like that, and I
Yeah,
very much.
As
yeah.
a
We
as a
like
musician
we
actor,
said.
bro, you definitely are inspiring for sure.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that because like I'm a creative all around. So just to be able to find like I feel like what you did with First Jason is more monumental than people give credit because I feel like we're building a franchise and intellectual property. Everything counts. Like even though it's its own thing, it helps the allure. Like these songs, like Voorhees, all these songs you name it. I'm like, sink or swim. Like what are you talking about? These are all helping that movie, that franchise. So I think it's amazing what you did.
yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
I thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I think that it's, now the topic of Jason has become American mythology. It's worldwide folklore, and I never take it for granted. And just to be able to play around with that, it's a surrealistic adventure in horror entertainment every day.
Really,
And
Yeah,
dude.
Ari, we love you,
I
man.
should add real quick that last year we got signed to CDN Records,
Let's
Hey,
go.
and
congrats, my brother.
thank you. That album called Into the Fray is a collaboration with the soundtrack composer of Friday the 13th. So Harry,
Wow.
yes, Harry Manfredini, the man who invented the the soundtrack composer, he did 7 instrumental introductions, one for each of our songs. So
Hey.
yeah, so the whole thing, it's just an amazing listen.
Listen,
I get to do the soundtrack for our album too. Like when I'm making all the music for our movie,
I was
I get to
just
do the
about to
same
say
thing.
it. Ari,
Sorry,
we
sorry.
would
I
love to
bet.
put money in your pocket. We would love to work with you in every way possible,
Oh,
Yeah.
whether it's killing you, paying homage, interviewing you, making
I
you
got
a
I got a rock band as well too. We
yeah.
call
We
Dead
have
End
a rock
Drive.
band. We have
y'all,
listen.
y'all,
Dead End Drive.
awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So yeah.
man. We have a rap band. We have everything, man. We want to work with you in every way possible. We want to give you your flowers. We want to let you know without you, like you are a start of a dynasty of a
Yeah, literally,
franchise.
bro.
And we just hope that our movie is just as great as what you did for us with Jason.
Or
Yeah,
better.
We, and,
like
and we wanted to say,
it's a good time to be in independent horror. Get your script together, storyboard it. Get the right people together, get the right team together. Um, make sure you get actors that can act. Uh,
That's a big thing,
that's
y'all.
a big,
Listen
big
to him.
thing.
Listen
That's a
to
big
him.
thing.
sometimes you can get people just for the way they look to be
No,
themselves.
or just available and just no.
Yeah, yeah.
Do it right though. I mean, even David Lynch did that, man. It's like you got to give them something so minimal to do that, you know, like they're not gonna. It's just they can just be filmed naturally. You know what I'm saying? But when you have
Absolutely.
a scene that actually requires, emotion, you want somebody who's. It's like anything, that's the realm of the actor is emotions.
Yeah.
So if you can get the emotions of your audience, well then that gets the juice. It just makes the whole thing flow. It's like electricity. You
Yes,
know.
sir.
So yeah, and remember that search for the love Uta Hagen thing, man, because you know I'm telling you, so many characters, like even I mean any character like Jaws. Jaws is just searching for the love, man.
You gotta look deep. You gotta look deep. He's searching for love. That's all. He's hungry. He loves to eat.
We love you, Ari, man. We love everything about you, man. We appreciate you
Thank
again,
you,
man.
brother.
And like I said, we're giving you your flowers.
Thank
If you
you,
don't
man.
know, you're much appreciated. We care about everything about you. So,
So
until
let's
next
stay in
time, man.
touch, okay? Stay in touch. If you have a script for me, if you now you see who I am and what I could do.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely got a script for you, buddy. We definitely got a script for you. We definitely got one.
We got a script.
The crazier
Like I
the
said.
character, the better, to tell you the truth.
Like I
Yes,
said,
sir.
we got
Oh,
a
it's
script.
crazy.
We're very
Language is-
professional over here, Ari. We have a script. We have security. We have conversation. You know what
We
I
got
mean?
everything.
Yeah, we got all that. So just letting you know.
I'm small, but I'm quick.
Yeah, baby.
You know what I mean?
Jason.
We're very professional.
That's
over here.
Jason. That's
Letting
Jason,
you know.
guys.
Love you, man. Until next time, man. We out of here.
Guys, this is great. Send me
Thank you, brother.
Now give me my theme music.
Not for